This content could be distressing, so viewer discretion is advised. As you know, I love true stories that are filled with mystery and can be quite scary. However, I also love telling the story of people who didn't have a chance to finish theirs on this earth. This story hits close to home for me as it happened one town over from my hometown. In fact, it all started when I was visiting the grave of a loved one and I saw an odd gravestone with a Batman symbol and it said "murdered" etched onto the bottom corner. I dove in immediately and uncovered a sad story, and I hope that because of this video and my viewers sharing, the person who committed this horrible act can be caught. As I was walking through the graveyard, I noticed a grave that immediately made me question the story and feel for the one who had passed and their family. It had a Batman symbol on the grave, and then I looked closer and I saw an etching, the word "murdered," in the bottom corner of the grave. At the bottom of the grave, a placard read, "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. I love you and will think of you always. Love, always, Nanna Grace." So, what happened to Keaton Michael Goins? On Thursday, May 13th, 2021, the night was quiet in the small town of Rural Hall, North Carolina. Behind the Coronet Seafood restaurant, an apartment complex called Woodbrier Path Apartments was still, with nothing out of the ordinary going on. Forsyth County Sheriffs Deputies were on their normal patrol beats driving through the community, and the night was turning out to be uneventful. Suddenly, a call came through the radio of a possible gunshot heard in the 600 building of the Woodbrier Apartments. Deputies arrived and began investigating. When they entered the apartment of Keaton Michael Goins, they found the 22-year-old male deceased from a gunshot wound only a few days after his 22nd birthday.
Also breaking this noon hour, we have learned one person has died in a shooting at an apartment complex in Rural Hall.
Someone killed Keaton Goins this past Thursday, May 13th in Rural Hall.
Keaton Michael Goins had been living in the Woodbrier Apartments for a while, doing well to make it on his own by working hard as a plumber. He stayed out of trouble and was described as excitable, humorous, shy, and kind. His nickname was Big Keat. Stories like this don't typically have a happy ending, but too many of them don't have endings at all, and that's what intrigued me. In the case of Keaton Michael Goins and the 22 years and a few days that he spent on this earth, it was not for nothing. It was not to be forgotten. When I began looking at the crime and the amount of shootings in the area of the Woodbrier Apartments, it was shocking. Story after story after story began appearing. Then I went to the reviews just to read firsthand what people said about this complex, well, they were horrendous. In the wake of this murder, detectives worked the case and could not produce any leads. They asked for help on the news.
Tonight, Forsyth County investigators are asking for your help to find a murderer. Someone killed Keaton Goins this past Thursday, May 13th in Rural Hall.
Then the story just stopped. The scariest part of this story for me is the questions that may remain unanswered. Who killed Keaton Michael Goins and why? How does the story start so abruptly and, like a shock to the system, then just disappear? What actually happened on May 13th, 2021 at the Woodbrier Apartments in Rural Hall, North Carolina? The family of Keaton Michael Goins went through a lot.
I don't get to hear that voice. I don't get to hear that goofy laugh anymore.
They had to tell about the life of their son and hope that someone would come forward so that justice could be served.
Somebody knows something.
Yeah, somebody knows something. A lot of people
There's no way there was a gunshot and nobody did not hear anything.
As I walked away from the gravestone of Keaton Michael Goins, not too far from where we live, I thought about life and how fragile it is. I thought about victims who never got a chance to live their lives and how they should be remembered. And I also swore to myself that I'll do my best to continue to tell their stories. If you know about any part of this story that may help find suspects involved, contact these departments.